I don't want to say too much because I don't want them people tapping my phones and, you know, coming to get me. I am drained. Life has drained me, okay? Because, like, it's hard when you're going through changes in your own personal life, but then you also see the world changing so rapidly in a way that you have no control over and doesn't look like it's going to be in your favor. And more importantly, doesn't look like it's going to be in the favor of my child or my grandchildren. Guys, we are at Chick-fil-A. Let me see if I can block out this light so I'm not too... That's better. I really prefer doing videos like this. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I have shot some version of this video probably like 3 times now.
Mom!
What? I'm talking to my camera.
No.
Why I can't talk to my camera? I'm disturbing your video. Well, that's too bad. So this is gonna be kind of all over the place because I like have an idea of what this video is about, but then I kind of, it's just a general update really. So I've definitely shot this video like 3 or 4 times now, and they're all like kind of redundant. There's like a couple where I was just kind of down and like feeling bad, and then there were a couple where I was like uplifted and felt like, yeah, I have a plan for my life and let me share with you guys, and I'm so excited. I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. This video is definitely gonna be on the downside. So initially my plan was to, my plan has always been to move, okay? I need to get my own place, kind of restart my life, because I have been living at home way longer than I intended, and it's really been wearing on me emotionally, spiritually. Can't really say financially because obviously like it's benefited me to an extent there, but even financially, and I'm sorry for eating and talking at the same time, but I'm coming in a rush. Even financially though, I feel like if you're not in a good space mentally, it's really hard to do all that you can do now. It does kind of push me to work harder, but it also discourages me in a lot of ways. I don't want to get too in the weeds with that because I feel like I haven't really given a solid backstory as to, you guys know by now from my channel that I had my son. I was in Houston. I ended up leaving Houston and moving back home with my parents. Kind of settled in North Carolina. And none of it was really necessarily by choice, but just kind of like I needed that familial support. I do spend a lot, well, not so much now, but like for a long time it's been hard for me to get over the fact that like I've had to basically give up that life. Like I've had to stop trying to get back to it, like, oh, I'm gonna move back to Texas, I'm gonna get a place, I'm just gonna do it again, I'm just gonna start over. And nowadays, especially once you leave a city, it's hard to go back because things are just like, the prices just keep going up and up, and you essentially have to start over. And it was a lot things that I was willing to do back, in my 20s when I didn't have my son, I'm not necessarily willing to do, or it wouldn't be a good idea, I don't think, for me to do, because I do have a child and because I'm older, and my standards have kind of gone up a bit. Like I don't want to rent a room from anyone. I really want, if I'm going to do that, I might as well stay home until I can afford to get my own place, essentially is what I'm getting at. So, I had my son, moved back home. My plan was, and before I even moved or, things just kind of went haywire in my life, my plan and my intention was to basically start a mommy channel and to just share like my journey as a new mom and blah, blah, blah. Of course, with me moving, that changed a lot. It changed a lot for sure financially because I pretty much spent all of my savings to get back home. Sold a lot of my stuff, which still didn't like put really any money in my pocket, just helped me move. So yeah, the whole shooting videos and content and stuff just kind of like took hit the back burner. So with that being said, if you're just following me, you're probably gonna be kind of confused when you see that my son is now almost 3 years old. He's 2.5, or a little over 2.5. But yeah, so there's gonna be a gap here, but just roll with me. This channel is really supposed to be about me and my journey as a mom. Moved home, and honestly in my mind I'm thinking like, okay, I'll just have to tough it out here for a year, get my bearings, and then I'll be back out, whether it's moving back to Texas or somewhere else. I'm gonna figure something out. 1 year turned into 2.5 and going on 3. It's looking like we'll probably be here for his 3rd birthday. And I'm hoping we'll be gone soon after that, but it's not looking good, y'all. It is not looking good at all. Things have taken a huge turn. The first thing was Trump getting into office. I don't think I need to say much about that, but essentially, I don't feel comfortable moving to, granted, I'm in North Carolina now, which is a red state, but Texas just sounds like a scary place to be with no family under this president and Senate and House and Supreme Court. That's scary to me, so I would not be moving to Texas. Also, I started a new business. I'm not going to say what it is exactly for certain reasons, but I got off to kind of a rocky start because I made some less than great business decisions. I'm not going to say that I didn't really do my due diligence, but I just didn't know any better. The industry that it's in, I don't really know a whole lot about. I did a lot of research, but things just happen, okay? So I got into some debt. Now, I already had some debt anyway, but the debt has started to compound. From there, I kept going with the business. I'm like, the good thing is I'm learning a lot. Most of all, I'm learning perseverance. I'm learning that when things go wrong, you can't just like lay in the bed and cry about it. Like, you just got to make a decision and roll with the punches and keep going. So that's what I did, and I definitely learned a lot. Made some mistakes, had some wins, and honestly, the past year was looking kind of good. Like, it was the first time I was able to kind of breathe a little bit as far as like not being worried about finance. Like, I was still, my credit has always been good because I pay my bills. Like, I figure out a way. But figuring out a way is a lot easier when it's just you and you don't have to, like, you don't have any kids. So that's been an adjustment. So I've been trying to find ways where I can take care of him, spend a lot of time with him in these early years, not leave him with strangers, but still make money and be able to, make a living. So this business was one of those ways, and honestly, like, it's kept me afloat pretty well, despite being in a lot of debt. So much so that I was able to save a good little sum of money towards the end of 2024. So we get to Christmas, and I'm already expecting to take a dip in earnings just because I'll be like traveling for the holidays, and things just slow down around that time anyway. And I also had just come into like kind of a lump sum of money, and so yeah, I was feeling pretty good. I came into this lump sum of money, and I had a choice of either just saving it or reinvesting it in my business in a way where it could continue to like make me a profit. I was hesitant because a part of me felt like I should just cut my losses, because although it's kept me afloat, I realized this is not the industry for me. But after weighing the options, I thought that reinvesting this money, in hindsight, I think it still is, but it's just put me in a rough place. Reinvesting this money seemed like the right thing to do at the time, so that's what I did. I did that back in November. No, I did that in December, right before Christmas. So reinvested that money. So now, not only have I spent all that money, but I've spent a chunk of my savings just to make up for the month of December when things were slow and I wasn't really making money. Then I come back home. Actually, I'm at my dad's. My dad lives in Maryland. I'm at my dad's house in Maryland, and on New Year's Day, someone steals my car. Someone stole my car right in front of the house. 6 in the morning, it just comes and just steals it. Now I have to pay $1,000 deductible. $1,000 that I do not have. And my savings are gone. I have no savings. I'm not making any money in January either, because I have to deal with all this back and forth, because not only do I have to deal with the fact that my car is stolen and there's a snowstorm that slows everything down, but I also have a custody case that is going to cost me another $500 something that I don't have, that I ended up having to push back for. I just decided to push it back for a number of reasons, but that's coming up again in February, and honestly, I don't know how I'm paying my bills in February. I really don't. I forgot one thing. Also, while I'm sitting at home kind of sad because somebody... Okay, I'm almost done. Somebody really wants to see their granddad. Okay, but in the midst of me sitting wondering, why is this all happening? Why was what are the chances somebody would steal my car like at the worst possible time? Oh, boy back here hits my laptop with a mop stick, his little toy mop. Hits my laptop, and he like barely touched it. He really just tapped it, and the screen shattered. YouTube is a significant source of my income. So how am I editing videos if I ain't got no screen on my laptop? So that's more money. I had to pay $400 something to get my screen fixed. So I'm broke, okay? I am drained. Life has drained me, okay? But I'm gonna keep going. All right. The past couple of days, maybe within even like the last 48 hours, I think I've received a message, I feel like, from three different people, 3 different sources, where they talk about how you can restart your life as many times as you want to. And I feel like that's something I've been doing already, but I've never been in such a low place, and really just financially, but also like kind of mentally and emotionally, because it's like, it's normally not this hard for me to restart. You want some chicken? You don't have any more juice? You want your chicken nuggets? Okay. And I realize a big part of it is just having my son, because if I were single, childless Jasmine, that really doesn't matter. If I were childless Jasmine, I would just hop in the car and go do DoorDash or something. I would find some way to make some money. But having him, it's like, he's not in a daycare. I don't want to put him in a daycare. At least not at this point. Even if I did, like, I've definitely considered the option, but the place I've called, they're like booked up for months out. And then who paying for that? And honestly, I'd rather just keep him at home until he can like really have a full conversation with me about his day. Call me paranoid, but I just hear too many bats. Tuck this into your collar. So yeah, obviously I don't have a whole lot of options. I know this is obviously a common problem for a lot of single moms, because what do you do? I understand most mothers don't even have the option to stay home with their kids, and I'm blessed in that sense that I have the support system to where I can do that right now, but I gotta get up out of here. I can't do it. And then now, like, I'm even thinking, do I even want to be in this country for real? I do. I love being in the U.S. I thought that honestly I was gonna settle in Houston and that was just gonna be, you know, where I was staying, but between Trump and this climate change, like, I feel like a lot of people are really afraid to talk about it because so many people feel hopeless and helpless. Like, what can I do? But one thing I know I can do, this is the one perk of being in the position that I am, I could just leave. I don't have anything tying me here but family. I could just leave. Now, I do have to have money to do that. So that is something else to figure out. And I haven't figured it out, but I gotta do something. I can't just sit here and continue to live the way I'm living. I think maybe the lesson here is just persistence. I lost track of what I was talking about. Back to the message I've been receiving over the past couple of days. Basically, I've run into like 3 different situations. Of course, they were on social media. I saw a video, a post, it might have been a couple posts, I don't know. But I keep getting this message of like, you can like restart your life however many times you want or feel you need to. And that just kind of gave me like hope, because I am 35 and I do kind of feel, you know, there are times where I feel like, well, dang, like, did I do the wrong thing by moving around so much and not like just committing to like one job or industry or city, or like all this change that I've done? Like, did I do the wrong thing? Because I knew I always wanted kids, and now that I have one, I'm struggling. I'm stuck, which is like my worst nightmare was to get into a position where I'm stuck anywhere, but especially at home. And I am I am stuck, y'all. I really feel stuck, and I've been feeling stuck for almost 3 years now, and it is not a good feeling. This is like my worst nightmare. Even when I graduated high school, when I graduated college, my worst fear was that I would get into a relationship, or I would have a baby, or I would get a job that I'm afraid to leave and just get too comfortable and be stuck in my hometown. And it's not even just about my hometown, but it was really more so about my freedom. I was afraid of losing my freedom. Now, was I afraid enough to not have a child? No, because I wanted a child. But I gotta be able to move. That's just like who I am. I've just accepted it. I do ultimately want to settle down somewhere, but I know where I am right now is not it. And the only way I'm gonna figure out what place is it is to move around. I do feel like feeling like the US is my only option at this point. It would be crazy. I've never even like had the desire really to even travel or visit other. I mean, you know, I've had some interest, like, oh, it'd be nice to visit Italy or Africa or, you know, all these different places, but ultimately I didn't really care too much about traveling to other countries. But now it's like I feel like I have to. Like, I feel like, especially like within my family, I don't see anybody else exploring that as a possibility, and I feel like it's a mistake not to. I feel like with the way the world is looking right now, because with America going through what it's going through, like this is a worldwide situation that we are facing. Whatever you believe, the fact is we all are potentially about to experience some big changes and some big scary changes. I want to feel like I'm at least doing something versus just sitting and be like, well, what can I do? I can't live in that. I just can't. And I've always felt like I've been in a position to where I can do more. I can always do more that your average person can't do. I've always felt that way. And it was really more so just a question of, well, what is it that I'm supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do with the fact that I'm not only able, because I feel like anybody's able to move wherever they want to, but I'm not afraid to. I'm a little more afraid now that, you know, I have a +1 because I have to be responsible for him. But I'm also afraid for myself. Honestly, I don't know if it's an age thing or if it's like after COVID, because COVID happened right around me turning 30. And I think the combination of me getting older and then like just COVID and just seeing the way it seems like the world has changed, people have gotten like angrier and more violent, and the world has definitely changed since then. I think a combination of those two things have made me a little more fearful about venturing out in the world. Also, I was a bit naive when I was, you know, in my 20s, especially my early 20s. But just think about how I used to live in LA, and I would come home from work sometimes like super late, or maybe even just from being out partying at like 2, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, and I would just go walk my dog. Like, it wasn't late at night in LA. I do have like a bit more fear and caution in that way, but ultimately I'm never afraid to get the fuck. Okay, I will get the fuck real quick. Out of relationship, out of city, out, I don't want to say out of job, because, you know, I'm gonna fulfill my commitment. But if something is not serving me, I'm getting the fuck, okay? And to those of you who have waited until after this last election to get into that mindset, welcome. It's fun over here, but it's a struggle. There are going to be ups and downs, so be prepared for ups and downs. But with that being said, I feel like I kind of have to like lead the charge, at least amongst my family, and just explore other places and kind of open it up. And honestly, I want to open it up not only to my family, but to other people who, like, if it's even crossed your mind that maybe America is not the last stop for you, I want to be able to go out and show people like what it's like to live in other places, the pros and the cons. And, you know, that maybe some of the stuff we hear and see here from, you know, America is not really the truth. And maybe some of it is the truth, but it's not as bad as we may think. I do think we've been bamboozled into thinking that America is just the end all be all, the best place to be, and everyone wants to be here. which there are definitely pros to being here, but at what cost? I don't want to say too much because I don't want them people tapping my phones and, you know, coming to get me. Not to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I really feel like things are getting that serious to where we just have to be more careful and more vigilant. Anyway, I think I'm rambling at this point, but I just wanted to come on here and share how I've been feeling lately, because like it's hard when you're going through changes in your own personal life, but then you also see the world changing so rapidly in a way that you have no control over and doesn't look like it's going to be in your favor, and more importantly doesn't look like it's going to be in the favor of my child or my grandchildren. That scares me, and I feel like if I don't do anything, or at least try to do anything, what's the point, you know? So I was thinking today, maybe I'm thinking about this all wrong. Maybe this isn't, I mean, it's scary, but is this not what life's about? Like, we don't have challenges. What are we doing here? If you don't have to fight for something every now and then, what's the point of life? I just wanted to share, I guess, my struggle, but also the fact that despite all of the question marks floating around in my life right now, I haven't lost hope. I still have confidence in myself that I can figure this out and make things work, and hopefully I can share that all with you guys, and you can do the same, or, you know, find answers to your own struggles.
They don't necessarily come out of Copart. So I'm going to email you a copy of the valuation for you to review. I'm waiting for that to pop into the system so I can email that over to you. Now, are you still making payments on the vehicle, or is the vehicle paid off?
It's paid off.
Paid off? Okay. Again, I will email a copy of this over as soon as I have it in the system for you. Settlement amount we have for you, minus the deductible amount, comes to
$1 million.
we have.
Okay. So maybe this was like the best outcome for me. Oh my god. Girl.
What?
I don't know if it's, I gotta do the math on it, but I think I might got some good news.
With the car?
Yeah.
But he might be solving a problem you had.
I know. That's the crazy part. I'm like, why is all this bad stuff happening? I kept thinking, like, normally if something like that happened to me, it usually work out for the best. But I just could not see that working out like this.
Oh, pause. You could not see it. Do that not sound like, I mean, that should be irritating me too when you just down and dump and I don't have nothing for you but the bullshit. But literally, that's how faith works. You cannot see it, but you just put your trust that everything is gonna work out for your good.
Yeah. By the way, if you have a Hyundai or a Kia, get a tracker. That's how I was able to get my car back so fast. So, luckily, insurance is gonna cover most of it. It was not covered by insurance. Also, there's a settlement with Hyundai. If you have a Hyundai or a Kia and somebody attempts to steal it, or they do steal it, anything that you have to pay out of pocket, Hyundai is supposed to reimburse you. I'm not banking on it too hard, but I really hope so, because I need that deductible back, because I ain't got no money.